NFL reporter extraordinaire. Usually when there are breaking stories occurring and it doesn't come the way of the great Adam Schefter, it comes through her. She's very plugged in, looking forward to talking to her. She's coming at us live from Arizona because she's covering the Cardinals, who have the #1 overall pick for the night's NFL draft. Now, some of you might be interested in the Cardinals, and I guess I can understand why. I don't find it that interesting. They're going to take Kyler Murray. You don't hire Kingsbury to be your coach, who I will remind everybody is not qualified to be the coach. Damn it, I ain't apologizing for that. It's just the truth. Mr. Kingsbury had a less than 500 record as a college coach, got fired from the job there, got hired as offensive coordinator at USC, and before he had a chance to go to Roscoe's for chicken and waffles, the dude got hired as an NFL head coach. He did not deserve the job. I am about process. This ain't about race. I don't give a damn what color or ethnicity the coach is. Black, white, or anything in between. That don't matter to me. But damn it, have the credentials to be a head coach. What did this man do to be the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals? The answer would be nothing. There's plenty of coordinators. There's plenty of pro personnel directors. There are plenty of scouts. There's plenty of coaches, period, on the NFL and even on the collegiate level that were more deserving of a head coaching job on the NFL level than Kingsbury. I mean, since Kingsbury got the job, Cliff Kingsbury, how come Kevin Sumlin didn't get the job? The hell with it. Why don't you bring Herm Edwards back? What about David Shaw at Stanford? I mean, the list goes on and on. You want to go that route, why didn't you woo back Jim Harbaugh? Something. Why didn't you sit up there and say to Urban Meyer, look, you ain't got to worry about no college football scandals on the pro level. We pay here. Leave Ohio State, come take a head coaching job. I didn't have no problem with that. Urban Meyer's one of the greatest coaches in collegiate football history. By the way, the weather's a little bit nice in Arizona. We'll draft for you. You just got to coach football. You ain't got to worry about recruiting. You ain't got to worry about going to parents' homes, promising them you'll take care of their kid, being a father to 65-plus kids. You ain't got to worry about all of that. Just coach the damn football team. You could have done that. But they hired Cliff Kingsbury. And oh, by the way, you would think he recruited Baker Mayfield and got him to come to Texas Tech. You would think he recruited Kyler Murray and got him to come to Texas Tech. No, he had relationships. He talked to these people. They didn't come play for him. So what's the problem? I really don't understand this. I really, really don't. But he believes in Kyler Murray, and I like that. I really do. I have yet to find one football aficionado that could definitively tell me where would Kyler Murray fall in the draft if Cliff Kingsbury were not the coach at Arizona and they were not going to take him #1? Where would he fall? Nobody has an answer for me. So that leaves me a bit suspect about Kyler Murray in terms of how they feel about him. How I feel about him, he's a dual threat. Dude averaged more than 7 yards a rush. The dude threw for over 4,000 yards. The dude won the Heisman after got in Oklahoma to the college football playoffs a year after Baker Mayfield did it. So I believe in Kyler Murray. And I believe Arizona should take him #1. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I don't think they're going to allow anybody to trade up, and I don't think they're going to trade down. They're going to draft Kyler Murray. That's what I believe is going to happen. I really could care less. It's not that interesting to me. Here's where it gets very interesting to me. The New York Giants. Now listen. Let's just be very, very clear about what we're saying here. If you are the New York Giants, what possible excuse can you have not to draft Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State? Threw for nearly 5,000 yards, 4,800 plus. Threw for 50 touchdowns. We see all the superlatives associated with this kid and what he brings to the table, and yet somehow, some way, people continue to find ways to create question marks about this guy. I don't understand it. I really don't. I'm at a loss. If you're the New York Giants, what are you doing? To me, you got to do something. I don't know how you could pass up on Dwayne Haskins. When you watch Eli Manning, 37 years old, look like he's going on 50. Eli Manning, did y'all know this? Eli Manning doesn't even wait to get touched to go down anymore. Eli Manning goes down at the sight of a rush. At the sight of a rush. He hears footsteps, he goes down. He sees an arm flailing in his direction, he goes down. He sees a bull rush coming at him, not confident that his offensive linemen are going to be able to block effectively for him. He goes down. This is what Eli Manning has done. So I don't understand for the life of me how the New York Giants, with 12 picks, 2 picks in the first round, 1 second round pick, I don't understand how you're passing up on a quarterback, especially Dwayne Haskins. Now, if you listen to folks out there, you talk about Drew Lock out of Missouri, you talk about Daniel Jones out of Duke, you're talking about these guys potentially being more attractive than the New York Giants. That doesn't make sense to me. When I look at this kid, Dwayne Haskins, that simply does not make sense to me. You're the New York Giants, you've missed the playoffs 6 times in the last 7 years since you've won Super Bowl 46. You've already traded Odell Beckham Jr. All right? That's what you've done. You've traded Olivier Vernon. Eli's 38 years old. He's entering the final season of his current contract. He was sacked 47 times last season, pressured on 28% of his pass plays. And I guess if you're Dave Gettleman, the general manager for the New York Giants, you're using that as an excuse to say, see, it really wasn't his fault. If we protected him better, if we made sure he didn't get sacked as much, then guess what? He would have looked better. Here's the problem. Some of the sacks, you know how Eli Manning got sacked? They said, that's how he got sacked. They were in the vicinity, they screamed at him, and his behind went down. Because when you're 38 years old, and you've been in the league since your early 20s, and you've been hit repeatedly over the years, ladies and gentlemen, it hurts, damn it. You get scared. This is what happens. And it's not Eli Manning's fault. The man delivered 2 Super Bowls. Nobody's knocking him for the career that he's had. But what we're saying is there comes a point in time where you have to realize it's over. And you got to move in a different direction. The New York Giants desperately, desperately, desperately need a quarterback. And Dwayne Haskins probably is the best of the lot. I understand that Gettleman is old school. I understand. You look at some of these cats like Devin White out of LSU, Josh Allen out of Kentucky, and others. You desperately need an edge rusher. If Josh Allen is there available at number 6, you know that the Giants are thinking big time about grabbing him. Why? Because you desperately need an edge rusher. I understand that. I get it. I kept asking that question, asking that question, asking that question. And it's not a matter of football acumen or absence thereof. Understand where I'm coming from, ladies and gentlemen. When I watch the divisional playoff game between the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Chargers, listen to what I'm saying. You don't play the game, then you watch the game. If you watch the game, listen to this scenario and tell me how y'all would feel. You had Joey Bosa, who is considered somewhat elite at his position, being an edge rusher for the Chargers. He was mic'd up for the game. And if you watch the NFL Network and you watch them talk about the game and they were mic'd, you listen to Joey Bosa going up to Tom Brady. Man, will you stop getting rid of the ball so quickly? Give me a chance to get to you. Would you please, please, please? Because Bill Belichick and them had Tom Brady getting rid of the football in 2.5 seconds, max. So my point is, no matter what we thought about Joey Bosa, he was a complete non-factor because New England was getting rid of the football and there was nothing he could do. And then to top it off and to make it even worse, he was still mic'd and they had him on the sideline, people. And Joey Bosa was like, that Tom Brady's awesome. He's phenomenal. I mean, oh my God, he's the greatest. Go back and listen to the tapes. You're marveling at this guy because basically what you're saying is you are helpless to do anything against him, just like you would be helpless to do anything against an elite quarterback. Well, guess what? If you have an opportunity to draft an elite quarterback, ain't that all the evidence you need? Now, if you don't believe that they're elite and you don't believe they're going to be effective and you don't believe they can play, that's different. But if it's clear somebody can ball and they're at the quarterback position, how in the hell do you pass up on them, New York Giants? It makes no sense. particularly when your alternative is hoping and praying that a quarterback is going to be available 11 picks later, and also depending on a 38-year-old quarterback who showed you he was punch drunk at least 2 to 3 years ago. It makes absolutely, positively no sense whatsoever. And I got a real problem with the New York Giants even contemplating passing up a quarterback, the likes of Dwayne Haskins, for this upcoming draft. It's not an exact science, and I know people are popular to say that, but damn that. All of us get paid to do a job. Yes, we make mistakes. None of us are flawless. I totally understand that. I would know. But the reality is clear. When you have a job to do, you better come pretty damn close to doing it effectively if you want to keep it. And if you're the New York Giants and you've missed the playoffs 6 times in the last 7 years, how the hell are you effective? So at some point in time, we got to have this discussion. And we got to recognize the fact that you're the New York Giants, you got to grab a quarterback. If you're the New York Jets, you got a totally different need. You got Sam Darnold. And oh, by the way, getting back to the New York Giants for a second, you know what nobody else has brought up? If the New York Giants pass up a quarterback this draft, how many teams who've been missing the playoffs, who have an aging quarterback clearly beyond his prime, goes back-to-back NFL drafts with top 6 picks and pass on quarterbacks each time? Last year, you got Baker Mayfield there. You got Sam Darnold there. You got Josh Rosen there. This is all you got. This is what you have. And the New York Giants passed up on 3 to 4 quarterbacks in last year's NFL draft to draft Saquon Barkley, who's an absolute stud. Very true, but you passed up on a quarterback. So now you're going to piggyback off that and pass up on a quarterback for the 2nd consecutive year? Do y'all have any idea how bad that is? You can't do this if you're the New York Giants. You just can't do this. Not back-to-back years when the quarterback position clearly is disabled. You got to take a quarterback. It's simple as that. You're the New York Jets, not your problem. You got Sam Darnold. And you but you acquired a running back in free agency in Le'Veon Bell, who you just gave $52 million to. You're the New York Jets. You've got 6 picks, including 1 in the first round, number 3 overall. Adam Gase is your new coach, who replaced Todd Bowles, fired after 4 years, now the defensive coordinator in Tampa. You got a new offensive coordinator. You got a new defensive coordinator in Greg Williams. But the Jets have missed the playoffs 8 straight years. 3rd longest drought in the NFL. This is the 2nd year in a row you've got the 3rd overall pick. Last year you traded up to get the number 3 to grab Sam Darnold. This year you're going to have, in all likelihood, Quinnen Williams out of Alabama, Josh Allen out of Kentucky, Devin White out of LSU, considered by some to be the best player in the draft at that linebacker spot because he's great in coverage, which a lot of linebackers find themselves having to deal with these days. Excuse me. But with all of that being said, I think if you're the New York Jets, you grab Josh Allen, number 3. You get an edge rusher, because the one thing you haven't done great is get to the quarterback. You gotta get an edge rusher. Josh Allen appears to be that dude. In some people's eyes, even better than Nick Bosa, who's expected to go number 2 to San Francisco. I'm saying if you got Josh Allen there, you got to take him. That's my belief. What about y'all? 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. That was Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. We'll get to your calls and more. Remember, the great Sal Palantonio is coming up next to talk to us about a variety of things, all things NFL, because we know that man is the man on the NFL. So I can't wait to talk to the great Sal Palantonio. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. By the way, gentlemen, fellas, stop lounging around. Be active. Take your girl out. Go to a game or a concert. Get tickets to something. Plus, the NBA playoffs are here, and the time is now to jump on those good seats. So for all your ticket needs, look no further than Vivid Seats. the official ticket partner of ESPN. Go to vividseats.com and enter promo code ESPN to get 10% off your first order. Get out, go have an experience, fellas. Get to the game and use Vivid Seats. Don't buy just any seat. Get a Vivid Seat.